Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, let's put on our ears and tail. It's time for Mew Mew power. Nya! Welcome, every Nyan. This arc is a catastrophic meows for real. I'm Moxidine, here with my perfectly perceptive, positively profound co-host, and I'm not kidding, Isekai Sensei Sama Brad. Brad, how are you doing? I'm sorry, folks, he's taking a little cat nap.
Apparently I can't purr properly.
Oh.
Nope.
Yep, still sounds like you're sleeping. And no, you can...
It's like a lion.
Yes. And today we are back with episode 2 of the Foxbox arc with, as it originally was called, Tokyo Mew Mew. It then was localized as Mew Mew Power. As the anime. I don't think the manga did get officially released, because we'll get to that. There was an official translator on the version we read, even if that was not our experience and what we took in. Well, no.
we did take it in.
We did take it in.
We had some questions.
From what we took in, I was very suspect. But yes, this was the original manga was written by Reiko Yoshida and arted by Mie Ikumi. It ran from September 2000 to February 2003 for 27 chapters in Nakayoshi, which is a long-running shoujo magazine.
Did you just
that
say
started
27?
in the 27 chapters.
27 chapters?
Yes, got more episodes than that on television. I'll get to that in a second.
Oh my god.
It's insane. I don't understand either. No, but I've got a more impressive stat. So it's been running in this Nakayoshi magazine, long-running shoujo magazine, that started in the 50s and is still going.
Good for them.
So maybe we should look into that magazine for Shoujo Arc. There was then a follow-up series, Tokyo Mew Mew a la mode, that had 11 chapters that ran from November 2003 to April 2004. That just sounds like they took a break.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a follow-up series. That just sounds like this isn't a Shippuden situation. But I guess I don't know what happens in that one, so...
Also, but 11 chapters?
Yes. So, somehow from those 27... Well, that's the follow-up was 11 chapters. Somehow from those 27 chapters, 52 episodes of anime were produced in Japan.
52?
But only 26 were localized into English under the name Mew Mew Power, albeit heavily edited, because 4Kids cannot get the license for the rest of them.
Oh my god.
I'm going to be honest, I never even saw Mew Mew Power when growing up and was only vaguely aware of it, but it seemed like a good addition to this arc, so it wouldn't be a Shonen Boy Fest, which is the majority of the Foxbox's airing. So I don't even know if I even know what the intro is.
Well, that's the thing is when I went to read this, because I didn't look at the list super carefully.
Yeah.
Because you're like, we're going to do a bunch of Foxbox ones. And I'm like, I know a bunch of Foxbox stuff. And I've been waiting for you to go, here's where you can read the manga, because a lot of these are hard to come by.
That has been a thing for both things we've talked about and things that we will be covering, I think probably the next episode. Weirdly hard to find the manga for all of these.
Yeah.
If they ever even got released in America, they're not on any official sites. A lot of them are defunct or on weird little corners.
Well, technically, this one's official.
This one was official, but we didn't find it in an official space. Like, I guess we could have bought it, question mark? Like physically, but it's not normally digitally available anywhere. Right. Under normal, I can give you money rules.
But so it's
very strange.
It wasn't until I like clicked on the link you sent me and looked at the cover and started reading it that I was like, I have zero idea of what this is. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Ever.
But that's what gives me joy, is that there's just stuff that we can go. I mean, again, I'd heard of this, but outside of it, if it never got released on the, had the cartoon that I was aware of, we'd never be talking about it. This is this weird little niche, barely, 40 chapter, 50 chapter thing. And just like, here it is, this weird little experience that like...
It's not even 50 chapters.
No.
Or 40. It's not even 40.
I'm gonna be real. I'm dying. This is homework of reading the manga chapter and talking about it to get to to watch the episode. Because Brad and I haven't seen it yet. We always do this where we read it, and this, like I said, this is one I never saw growing up. So I don't even have like weird nostalgia.
We always do this. We did this once so far.
We're planning on doing it more as we move forward to the rest of this arc. Like, I'm dying, because one of the things that I read on the Wikipedia page for this about the 4Kids version is that they're originally going to localize it as, what is it? It's Tokyo Mew Mew as Hollywood Mew Mew. And then they were like, we're going to have to do too many edits to make that consistent. And I'm like, I'm dying to know what that writing team, with what I already know from other shows, but what we experienced last week with Ultimate Muscle, will do to the Pink Isle. Like, what is the girls' version of this? I'm so excited. And also, what the heck is the anime if it's 52 episodes? Not even 50 chapters. It's not One Piece. When they're dying to make, because they can't stop, even though they can stop now, which is very nice. Very strange. So this was localized by Elena Ishikawa. Oh, this is the thing that I saw that I was like, there's like a billion manga I've never heard of. But yeah, this was officially localized by this person, Elena. I didn't recognize anything she worked on, but she still appears to be working, which is good. Yeah. But also, I've just like, not even like, I've maybe heard that in passing or Brad talking, like nothing, not a shred that I recognize even a little bit. And I'm like, it just makes me happy for this podcast that there's just weird untapped corners we just don't know about that are people are getting paid to, like, not just some random schmuck putting in an AI translator. People are getting paid to do it.
Hey, patrons, if you want to, support us full time, we could do like 2 of these a week.
What are you doing? Slow down. Slow your roll.
We need a lot of patrons for that.
Yeah, we did. I'm just before we get to the summary, I wrote this down, so I need to say it. Heads up at the top. I'm going to be real. Reading this first chapter weirdly felt like having a brain aneurysm. Characters keep showing up, and I really, really struggled with who is who syndrome. On top of this, the manga seems to jump from thing to thing without a lot of continuity what's happening, so forgive this more sanded down nature of the summary. Also, another reason why I'm really excited to watch this episode of the anime, if it'll feel like it exists in actual contiguous time, and that they'll look different. Maybe, I guess, they'll have different color schemes.
There's something that I want to talk to in that regard, but we'll get to that after the summary.
Yes.
Before we go through the summary, though, I did want to talk about the translation real quick.
Okay, lay it on me.
So, like you've said, this is obviously an official translation.
Yes.
There are some parts in here, and I'd be really interested to know, like, what the heck was going on. But there are some things that feel like they're poorly translated.
Agreed.
And I don't know if they actually are poorly translated, but it reads that way.
It reads when I'm having trouble when I'm reading a fan translation that's not very good to figure out what's going on. And like you said, I don't know how much I can blame that on the original manga and how much on the localizer.
And you know what that says to me? It in a very similar way to like the scanlations, I wonder if they just literally translated it. If it's
in moments where like there was like a pun here and that just didn't.
Yeah, stuff like that, where it's like, well, this is what these words mean. But so it's a translation and not an adaptation.
Maybe I'm not happy. Maybe I'm not happy. They're still working if this is the level of quality they're doing.
But there, you also have to consider, like, when did they do that? Was this
true? I guess I don't know when this Omni. I don't know when this Omnibus
translated it or what.
Well, no, because a lot of things that had that money. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the stuff that I know about, and like the big stuff that made it over into the bookstores was it's like usually it gets more tuned up. That it's like things are lost and things are changed and added. But this one just feels very, there's parts where it feels very like I don't understand who's talking or what's going on right now. And part of that is both the art, but part of that is also the writing.
And there's also the thing of like we don't want to put blame on the translator because it's like maybe the editors came in and said, no, just translate it. Don't put your own spin on it. We're just trying to
sweatshop it.
There's a lot of different things that could have happened. So I don't want to like point fingers or anything, but
it was strange.
Just to know if you are reading it.
On top of that, with the struggle that I had, that was a part of the struggle.
If you're reading it and you're confused, you're not alone.
Yes. So with that out of the way, let's get to my patented Moxie's Mox Speed manga summary. Earth. Over 1 million species occupy this boundlessly beautiful planet. However, many animals are currently at risk of extinction. Now is the time for us to stand up. We must stand up for all creatures and ourselves. We begin with our protagonist, Ichigo Momomiya, on a date?
Ichigo,
I know, because she's strawberry. On a date, ? With her crush, Masaya Oyama. at an endangered species exhibit. How fitting. She's not really interested in the exhibit, but she'd go anywhere for Aoyama. He's just the most perfect boy. Smart, athletic, very popular, and that smile. I feel like we'll be meeting this man again in our shoujo arc. Clumsy Ichigo trips and shares an accidental kiss with Aoyama. Ichigo freaks out, but Aoyama doesn't seem to get it and shrugs it off. That dense idiot. Then all of a sudden, we're shown like a gun laser device thing with a cat face on it and a nondescript void, and we are told that the Earth's future is about to change. But don't worry about that. We're back with Ichigo, and she finds a cute little cafe where we meet a character who has been watching and judging her situation. But wait, before that can make sense, we meet a shy glasses girl being bullied. But then we meet, I think, a different girl who stands up to the bullies, who I thought would have made sense was our main character, but is not. She's somebody else. She's like a monkey.
Well, our main character was going to.
But then this other one jumps in, but they don't make it clear.
And she's taller and probably older than all the rest of them.
Okay.
So she could actually assert some authority.
Yes. It's like we're collecting the infinity gems of Gal Pal gang archetypes.
How do I introduce all 5 of my characters
and then a tall one shows up and I have no idea who's who and who's talking and hey, look over there! It's that laser device again. Launch Project Mew! An earthquake happens with our Gal Pal gang and then Ichigo goes to magical girl transformation land as a spirit kitty crawls inside of her. She makes like
you don't actually see it crawling.
No, but she makes it. You see the cat, and it's like spirity, and then she makes a point of going, "It's inside me now." Yeah. And it was just like weird.
Crawling inside her denotes an image that we didn't have.
No,
it's implied.
She awakes to Aoyama waking her up. She had passed out. I wonder where those other girls went. Let's go home. What a strange day. Ichigo thinks that she mews before going to sleep. She's very tired. Oh, then the next morning... She muses. While staring at Aoyama with her friends from a balcony, a tired Ichigo drops her ticket from yesterday and jumps to snatch it, miraculously landing without injury on the ground below, but very confused. Then later, while talking to her friends at lunch, she just had a fish in her mouth. What does this all mean?
No, she stole that from her friend.
I know, but the way it's written, it just sounds like I have a fish in my mouth. Like that was the wording on it. Like it's, conceptually, I can put together in my brain that she took the fish, but she's like,
when she didn't realize that she did it.
I know, but it's just the phrase like, why do I have a fish in my? How did I get a fish in my mouth?
And I hope you figured it out by now.
Aoyama then asks if she's free after school. He must like her, right? Then we see a strange boy with a funny little puffball guy that knows Ichigo's name. But enough about that. Our 2 platonic friends and nothing else are helping clean the river. Ichigo wants to admit her feelings, but just can't do it. Then a giant rat creature attacks them. It knocks out Aoyama with a slash. In that moment, the strange boy from earlier grabs Ichigo to the top of a tree. He introduces himself as Ryo Shirogane. There's no time to explain. You have to defeat that monster, he says before pushing her from the tree limb. As Ichigo falls, she panics and transforms into a cat girl. Meowing uncontrollably, she gains the Strawberry Bell and states, I'll work to see that justice will be fully served. Furry served would be better. That would be more of a joke. Meow. There's like a lack of cat puns. There's going to be so many cat puns in this episode of the anime. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Banking on it. This isn't a reload technically, but that's one of my guesses. I'm getting a point for that. Before using her ribbon strawberry check... like little scarfy whatever to defeat the giant rat. Ichigo freaks out over all this and Ryo mostly just tells us that wasn't a monster but a chimera animal. Animals infected with alien parasites that make them go berserk.
You think there'll be a chimera ant?
Very possible. The aliens are using them as bioweapons, but this Ryu guy is using red data animals facing extinction, because they, quote, have the ability to preserve species, unquote. So many strange choices.
It really doesn't make any sense.
Red data animals makes no sense
Don't
whatsoever.
look into it too carefully.
And the fact that it's like, oh, they know how to face it. It's like, no, they're not doing good at being alive. Why would they have the power to keep things alive?
It would have made more sense if they were like, because there's so little of their DNA
I'm not done. Let me finish the bullshit. Sure. I'm not done with the bullshit. Infusing chimeras with red data DNA should squash the alien virus. He explains that the earthquake was her being injected with that DNA, the DNA of an Iramote wildcat. So now you're the Mew Mew, you're Mew Mew the bioweapon, and have to do your best to be the protector of justice. What? This was, like, even reading that summary again was,
by the way,
a fever dream.
I got to the end of the chapter and I was like, wait a minute, that didn't feel long enough. And then I looked and it was 50 some pages.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. I think if I came into this with no experience with this genre at all, I think I'd have been more confused, but I can at least see the bones of, here's the group of girls. They all are based around a different animal. They're all going to have their own transformation. I think the one that like fights off the bullies is a monkey or something. I don't know the rest yet. The tall one will probably be like a tiger or whatever. I guess they're all on the extinction list, so maybe they'll be more specific than that. But like, it's like if I did not know all the tropes, I'd be more confused. But it's like, but also it's just like, wait a minute, Brett, is this my first time running into dense? I guess that was, you said your thing was dense female lead syndrome. This is dense male lead syndrome,
which is
they're both dense in different ways.
Dense male lead happens a lot, but like a lot of the time, it's not that the male lead isn't into the girl. It's just he's like, well, there's no way that she can like me.
But I like
even though they both like each other.
We don't even get to see into his brain.
Yeah.
Which just makes it all the like, I don't think it's intentionally funny. I think it's funnier.
Here's the thing. When I was reading it, I was like, girl, maybe he's just not romantically into you.
But
like,
also just ask him.
He's obviously your friend.
Yeah, but like ask him. Like just go open the box. Secret romance arc revival. It's because we're in the girls aisle, Brad. We're in the pink aisle.
I have a
it's
feeling
the 2000s.
that she's not going to get the answer she wants. I think that he's not into her in that way.
He's just not that into you. But now she has to save the planet from the forces of evil.
So I think it would make more sense.
It's very Sailor Moon. I don't know if Sailor Moon was the first Sailor Moon, but this is very Sailor Moon coded.
It would make more sense if the whole thing with the endangered species was like the aliens gain strength by there being a lot of that DNA available.
Yeah.
Which actually would mean that the rat thing that she met in the first chapter should be like the most powerful thing.
Because there's just so many rats.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's just they that's the animal they infected.
Yeah.
And maybe
that one specific
one. They can't handle DNA that they don't have a lot of research on.
Right.
I get it. Who cares?
But then also it's like, okay, we're going to do endangered species. What should the main character's animal be? A cat? A house cat?
Because it sells it.
And it's not a house cat. It is an endangered species. But for all intents and purposes, it's just a house cat.
I continue to talk about one day we will read it and I'll make you watch the anime with me when God forbid we ever an anime drought. Maybe when we catch up on Slime, we'll do when we have a night of Vice. It's like we're watching a bunch of Killing Bites because I love Killing Bites is a perfect show to get messed up and just go about. And admittedly they're not extinct species, but at least in that one, some rare one shows up and the main female lead is specifically a honey badger because she do not give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is tropes poorly stapled to like a cardboard cutout. This is not good.
So the other problem that we ran into with being confused about what's going on. Now, obviously the whole thing with like, we're going to introduce all of the girls within 2 pages. We're just going to shove them all together.
I just assumed they would be classmates or friends, but they all seem unconnected from each other.
They just all showed up at the same place at the same time for some reason.
If they're not going to be in the friend group and dole them out, then just don't look at them. Maybe one. Maybe foreshadow one. I like the one that was like judging, like watching her and judging her. It's like, I know you have feelings for the boy. Just fucking talk to them. She's like, why are you judging me?
At least in Sailor Moon, it's like they introduce them over
That's what I'm saying.
Multiple episodes.
And it's not just like, here's all of them now in this weird fever dream where we're not being clear, we're moving to a new scene and why they're showing up and what's going on and what our main character who we've been following before is doing in every scenario. Very confusing.
But beyond that specific thing, there's also just the way that the scenes move from scene to scene and everything is very unclear.
That's what I've said. It's like a fever dream. And it's like when something begins and ends is unclear.
Do you remember me talking about this with these older manga?
Yes, but I think this one is especially bad.
It is, yes.
More than normal.
But this is the thing that I've talked about before, where it's
cranked up so I can experience what you experience.
Just in the middle of a page, it goes to a different scene, and there's no clear indicator that that's what it was actually doing.
Okay, in this scenario, finally, I agree with you. Because also they just keep showing up and they all look fairly similar because the artist isn't that The fact that she gets shot with the beam is so unclear that's like,
Yeah, no.
why is there an earthquake for that? Why is
It's just like earthquake, and then she's with the cat, and I'm like, what
does it mean? What do you mean she
happened?
got shot with the DNA through a beam? There was an earthquake. What does an earthquake have to do with the beam?
I think the
Is the
beam
beam-
going off caused the
Is
earthquake.
the laser beam at the museum or somewhere else? She didn't go anywhere. Like if she went somewhere in the museum and it got hit with it I was wandering around
You were at the exhibit for that animal, and the beam was like pulling the DNA from the taxidermied animal, and it went into you or something.
It's a Spider-Man situation. Is she's at there with the boy she has a crush on. She's trying to process her emotions. She steps away out to some weird corridor, and like the spider, she opens the door, and there's the beam, and she goes, "What is this?" And then she gets zapped with the beam.
But so later, the guy is like, "Oh, you accidentally got hit with the beam," but it's like, how? What were they? Where were they? And where were they aiming the beam? And like,
That's what I'm saying. Why is it a beam? I'm assuming they all got hit by it there, but like the rest of them just disappear. But she's still there. She's like, wow,
she's in a
unconscious.
different spot.
I know, but like,
did someone move her there?
Exactly.
Did the boy come and find her laying there, and he took her back inside?
You think he'd be more like, why is my friend unconscious? Like, wouldn't you be more? But yeah, just really unclear. That's why I'm excited for the anime, because at least it'll have more continuity of self.
Yeah.
Because people have voices and have color palettes and
hopefully
look more different.
Or maybe it'll be the same thing, and we'll be like, what the hell are we watching?
No, there'll be cat puns and people doing funny celebrity impressions, and it'll be really funny and charming in a way that's like, this, I think, more than like, again, we're only reading one chapter. I think Ultimate Muscle, the original Ultimate Muscle, I think is a good manga. I think what the 4Kids did to it made it into something else, and it's like a side grade.
Yeah.
Does it kind of do a little bit with what it used to be? Yes. Do I think there's actually something there that's worthwhile before they got to it? Yes. So I think they can both kind of exist on their own.
Right.
This one, I feel like what 4Kids can do to this, at least in this first chapter, can only be an improvement, because there's nothing here that's like good or interesting or original that isn't just like, oh, this did that and this did that and this did that. Like, it just feels
probably why it only went for 27 chapters.
But clearly, maybe it's just when they wanted to stop, because they clearly got to come back not even a year later to put out 11 more under a different title, and like people are looking for that one. And like, Brad, 52 episodes of an anime. It doesn't even have that many chapters. It doesn't seem like it's that complicated. That's why I'm dying. I'm dying to know. I don't like. Obviously, the companies who are making these in Japan aren't connected. So it's like the Ultimate Muscle one was that the first episode was vastly different than the first chapter in a way that had nothing to do with 4Kids, because that was how they made the first episode for the most part. So with this one, I don't know. Will we see more information? Will it stick to just what we read? Like you said, it was like 50-some pages. So I don't know. Do you want to do thoughts and feelings, and then we'll go watch this sucker?
Yeah. So, did we talk about how it's an omnibus? I think we might have skipped that.
I mean, the official release is an omnibus, so they probably just published all 40-some chapters or 30-some chapters in a singular book.
You can get this officially translated in English, as we talked about before. Only the first 2 or 3 chapters is digital on the as a free thing on their website to get you to buy it.
And I had a heck of a time finding that.
Yeah.
So,
but it is the entire first chapter and maybe the entire second chapter. I didn't read it.
I didn't go because that would go against the spirit.
So you can get it officially and read it officially. I
mean, my current thing is don't, but you could.
Okay.
Maybe it gets better. Maybe secretly somebody in the chat will be like, hey, I love this manga.
Yeah. So to that end, I think I agree with you there. I think that objectively, this is fine.
This is bad.
Okay.
There is zero redeeming qualities, and we have mechanical gripes with it.
Well, I'm thinking
that's
about
so much
this
more damning.
as in this is for children.
I wouldn't want a child to read this either.
Well,
there's other things that do this that are better, and not like, oh yes, this flaming yawn. It's like, this is barely a burger. Like, this was structurally unsound. I would not want to, I as an adult struggled with trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Like, it's not like it's like, oh, it's simple, because it's not simple. Like, it's simple because it's fitting all the archetypes, but as it came together, it's a mess. Like, it's not, I can't in good faith, like, I could maybe say I think it's fine, but I can't bring myself to that. Like, I don't think that's my, I mean, I know my emotions get into everything, but, like, honestly, like, I don't think this is good, and I think you can get this even at a passable level better than this.
I would...
Fine would imply that there was not as much space above it as there is. For it's like, yeah, that was okay. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of Sailor Moon inspired by ripoffs.
Fine derogatory.
I mean, yes, but even still, like, it's not. Like, if it had some, like, oh, those were kind of funny, or like, oh, this, but it's like, there's nothing. There was only confusion and generic stuff.
I think where I'm at is, like, for the time, it's fine. If you're reading this today, then yeah, I would totally say bad to almost.
We don't even know when this omnibus got released in America.
Well, I don't think that really
Sailor
matters.
Moon was probably out in manga form in America before that.
Right, but you've already read all of Sailor Moon, and you want more of something
I'm sure
that's
there's
like
other
Sailor
stuff that
Moon.
we don't know about, which is why we have to have a shoujo arc, Brad, because we don't fucking know anything.
I just think that it's not. It doesn't have no redeeming qualities.
What's its
it just
Brad,
only
name it.
has.
I'm going to. I know we have other things to do,
one.
but I'm going to skip to a very specific high noon. I need you to name me one redeeming quality. I just thought of one, but I don't think you're going to get it.
The girls turn into endangered animals.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, we don't get to experience that, but I will agree with you. But I take a position where I can take that away if all the other ones are really lame and are just like regular animals. But like, here's the special extinct version, but they're all very like,
Yeah,
this one's a wolf.
Yeah,
this one's a monkey.
I was a little disappointed with the cat. Just like,
because the cat design is very just like, it's a house cat.
you
She's got a
hyped
little
up
bell.
endangered species
Yeah.
so much, and you copped out with a cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very marketable.
Um,
Also, they fight a giant rat, and I like a giant rat.
I guess, I mean, sort of where I'm at is like, I think this is competing with the likes of like Monster Girl High, you know?
I think Monster Girl, if I watched Monster Girl High, I think Monster Girl High would be better than this, because at least it would contain its own continuity in itself, and it wouldn't be a fever dream. But it wouldn't be a fever dream mechanically. It could be a fever dream emotionally or conceptually, but I think just from moment to moment things happening, I think it would be more contiguous to itself and palatable.
You know what it is? If you read this and just like don't pay too much attention, read it like it's a trash isekai, then it's fine.
Brad, if you just don't think about what you're eating, anything can be eatable because you're just not thinking. You know, the thing you're supposed to do when you take in art, even when it's junk food. If you just don't think, if you just ate the paper, you'd probably have a more enriching experience.
I just think that some things shouldn't be taken in as if they're art.
What? Yeah, there's space for junk food. This is not that. This is a goat eating a tin can. I don't. There's no space. Like
there was real food in that tin can.
There was at one point, not anymore. That's what Sailor Moon and all the other Sailor Moon alikes are. That's all been taken away. All that's left is like a slight residue on the tin can the goat is eating. We had I don't remember what episode it was. I mean, what? I just listened to the fucking Build King episode where I'm like, you're like, I forgot. I'm like, you read this was the third most recent chapter you read. You read this literally hours ago. You didn't even sleep on it, and you were like, I already forgot. And other times you're like, I read it, but also instantly jettisoned, and it's just like, why bother? Okay, we're not. Brad, what business do we have to finish so we can go watch this? I'm dying to watch this anime. This episode is just to watch this episode.
I mean, I feel. I'm gonna say bad to even worse.
Wow. Okay.
Not a full on even worse.
Gotcha.
I did not enjoy it. I feel like I could see some things where like a young girl would read this and be happy with it, but like
see the tropes. I'm sure we can find a shoujo where they turn into animals. I really don't think that's going to be that. I feel like those are going to be a dime a dozen.
Okay.
So
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I am Funny Valentine right now. My judgment is unclouded. I both think and feel this is bad with zero hemming and hawing. Yeah. Let's go watch the anime and hopefully have a grand old time.
Did we guess things last time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But also I knew more last time because I had to figure out what episode to watch. So we might get
Right.
caught by an episode that is very different from this one. And also, but I guess also last time we like this episode, this chapter, we didn't have the whole, it's the prologue. It's not a prologue. The
Yeah.
prologue is not a prologue. The prologue is the load up to the first chapter, but the first chapter is listed as chapter 1, but it's whatever. So yeah,
So
I don't
I
think we
guess
had predictions.
what
so.
we're looking for is for it to keep the general idea of endangered species magical girls.
Magical girls.
But like do it way better.
Hollywood Mew Mew. I'm very excited.
Do we think if it does that it'll be good?
What, if it has cat puns? All it needs to do is have cat puns and be more take-inable.
Yeah.
More coherent. Coherent and cat puns. All I need. All
Also,
I need to go.
looking forward to intros and outros.
Yes. Oh, yes. I don't think I've ever heard the 4Kids one because all the other 4Kids ones they're bangers. I'm sorry if you disagree with me. It's going to be a while until the Discord hears any of these to be able to yell at me. I don't care who you are. Kirby right back at you. Also 4Kids. Banger. One Piece Pirate Rap. Banger. Fighting Foodons. Banger. Ultimate Muscle We Already Learned. Banger. Other ones in this arc. I actually don't know.
Some of them like are dumb.
Sonic X, banger. I don't even
But-
like Sonic. I don't even know if I really watched Sonic X outside the intro.
Even
that
the dumb
intro
ones
is a banger.
Make you go, oh, what the hell?
Hell yeah. Big bad boys from out. The amount of times I've wandered in my house saying that to myself. It's a joy.
Okay.
We'll catch you after 22 minutes with
the,
ads.
The next time you hear us,
We'll be so
in-
much happier, I'm
in
hoping.
10 seconds, we will be different people.
We'll be different humans. We'll experience something together. See ya.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
We did a thing, and then we did another thing.
We did another thing to clarify the first thing, and if we had time, I think I would have clarified it with a third thing. But we don't, because I have to get on. We'll have to leave to get on a plane tomorrow, but I have to leave in like 2 hours. So yeah. So we watched what was listed as the first English dub 4Kids episode, which was not the first episode. The second one of those was the actual first episode. Because it sets it up at the end of the first episode we watched. That it's like, and this is where it all started. It starts very in media res. We've already got the gang, and we're fighting. It was very much my guess is that this was the proof of concept pilot localization that the 4Kids studio had made when they were showing it to the execs and going, hey, this is a taste of what this is week to week. I mean, what? They wanted to do all 52 episodes. They couldn't because they couldn't get the license.
Interesting, though. So, obviously the first episode of the English version, the 4Kids version, was something that we had never seen before.
Correct. Had nothing to do with anything we had seen. It was clearly a story taken from the middle.
Right. But I think a very important episode, because at the end of the episode, the boy finds out that she's the superhero.
Yeah, you're right, because that doesn't happen in the other ones. So we get a bunch of lines drawn that you're expecting to get drawn from that first chapter that we read of like, okay, here's the squad together now. I think in the context of that episode, it seemed like that was where they learned they had to fight, but it wasn't clear. Like at that point, from my understanding at that point, they were already transforming. And they all worked at the cafe.
That was their first day working together at the cafe. So I think it's pretty early on, but from what we saw at the end of the...
Because it would imply that the actual first chapter, first episode had happened at that point.
Right.
So she had already fought. This wasn't her first time transforming and fighting.
all the girls were together.
But it was maybe it was the first time that they got everybody together to go do... Because I feel like the last one shows up at the start of it. The tall one, the wolf. So we learned that it was, what are they? It's a wildcat. It's a finless porpoise. It was a bird that I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
It was a gray wolf, and it was a lion monkey. So yeah, pretty standard picks, honestly.
Honestly,
The porpoise is kind of silly.
Pretty happy with it because we had talked about this. We were scared that it was just going to all be like normal animals, but they're endangered versions. And the closest we got to that was the gray wolf, but at the time, I don't think they're endangered anymore.
Yeah.
But they were critically endangered at a time.
Correct. And she's like the lone wolf character. She comes in and she's kind of mean. I said to Brad that this was better because very early on cat puns were made. That made me smile, and I was very happy about that. It's not as rat-a-tat-tat as Ultimate Muscle is with its dialogue, but I also think that just Ultimate Muscle leads to that more.
Yeah, it's
this
not
isn't
that kind of
There's
show.
funny things in here, but this is not a comedy. This is a slice of life. I like the voices. This is back in the days when they would change everybody's names to English names, which
Oh
like
my god!
And
then
like,
when they
I know
say
it's,
them,
I know it's culturally it's culturally no bueno now, and everybody hates that. But honestly, I remember those names better. I think for existing as its own little weird thing, I'd prefer English names. I know that makes me a terrible human being in this context, but her name was Zoe. I don't remember the rest of them.
The wolf girl one was weird because they were like so hyper specific about it because apparently she's some kind of celebrity.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that read then.
And it was just like, what are you doing? You're being weird.
Speaking of celebrity, the intro is very early 2000s girl power with Gurrl.
Right.
Did I say is it Avril Lavigne? Do I have that right?
That's what you said.
Yes. Yeah. It's very Skater Boy in a way. Not that it sounds like Skater Boy, but it's like that's the connector point in my head of like this is the flavor you're getting.
Not a bad song.
Not a bad intro. I'd never heard it before. Probably not one that I'm going to listen to again. I think I was clapping along to it. I think because you weren't as bemused by it as I. You seem more bemused and not as keen on it, I guess. But like, yeah, it's good. It's just not for me. It's very much of an era, but I don't think it's bad. I think if I grew up with this, I'd be very nostalgic like I am with the other ones. Yeah. But it's a very different style than the other ones, which I guess is fitting because this one is very specifically aimed at girls.
Right. How about also speaking of celebrity?
What is this?
The sort of leader guy character, the blonde-haired one.
Oh yes. He's voiced by instantly he starts talking. We turn to each other and go, "It's Goku! It's Sean Schemmel! It's baby Sean Schemmel in the early 2000s making his paycheck."
Sounded so much like Goku.
No, but it's a different like I'm a stander-upper for voice actors where it's like that you can have a very recognizable voice and still have very distinct characters.
So but
it's like it's obvious. It's because it's like anytime you hear Richard Horvitz in something, it's clearly Richard Horvitz, but you can tell the difference between his characters from. But
the thing was, as he continued,
this is an iconic character that Sean Schemmel is playing.
As he continued talking, it was like, okay, he's not like he's just.
That's what he
talking.
Sounds like.
But his first like line or two, because he was sort of like angry, was so Goku coded.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
But like Goku, like when he's about to fight somebody. That was
when he's getting a little bit more terse because this guy is not Smiley. Ryu or what? Elliot. They renamed him Elliot, which I think was a good name. I think he's an Elliot. So yeah, we meet him. There's the other guy that I guess runs the cafe, and the cafe is the front for
the guy behind the desk.
Yes.
No. Man in the chair. What is it?
I guess that works. Sometimes he leaves the chair. So yeah, the evil people are coming. They're going to destroy these trees. So there's a bunch of smog or whatever the fuck.
No, they're using the trees to put out the smog.
Correct. And they have to destroy the trees.
The girls have to destroy the trees.
But also before that, she was there with the boy. I don't remember what they renamed him. Aoyama. Maybe they never said his name.
Wasn't that strong of a name.
Kevin or Ben. And he's like, wow, this tree's been around for 100 years. My grandparents, when they came here as immigrants, which is how you know it's not Japan, which I guess it could still be. They could be secret Koreans. I think his grandfather proposed to his grandmother at that tree, and he comes to that tree a lot for some reason. But also, she's in the woods going.
But I'm not going to make any kind of connection to the fact that I've brought this girl who's obviously in love with me to this tree.
Yes, and she's embarrassed because she can't. When she gets excited, her cat tail and ears come out. It's just very hormone puberty coded for all genders, for all situations.
Where's that tail coming from? What?
Stop doing that. I hate that. Stop doing that. So there's like a clear thing of like, I can't let him know. And then that episode, which is a couple episodes into the season, but was the first one for us, he sees that. And he's really chill about it because he's like all about like being an individual is great, which I kind of doubt is the original lesson in Japanese, but I don't know that.
Because he was talking about the tree. He's like, my grandfather said that all trees are different.
Like people.
And it's just like people, and you have to be your own individual. And I turned to Moxie, I was like, you can tell this is for America.
Yeah. I'm very curious what the original thing is. But I really love when he just shows up later after she's defeated the evil and she's by the tree, because I guess he just likes coming out to the tree a bunch. And he's just very chill with finding her.
No, he was there first and he got knocked out.
Did he?
Yeah.
You're sure not thinking of the rat?
No.
Okay. Then I don't know.
He gets knocked out a lot.
Yeah.
No, he went to the tree, and then that other evil guy comes and he's like, "Oh, you like that tree?
You like that tree?
Well, too bad. Knocked out."
You're right. But I love how like chill is. It's like, here is this girl that you know from school. She's a cat and she's wearing a skimpy kind of maid outfit out in the woods at night by herself. And she's like, yeah, you do you. And it's like,
don't be ashamed of who you are. What?
I'd be a little, I'm not saying like that's an awful thing to do, but it's like when you don't know this person, it's like, I think I'd be a little like, what are you doing out here, bud?
What you doing?
What you doing? Like, sure, like, because it's like, what, we made a joke of like, oh, furries become acceptable in time, but it's like, you're here by yourself in the park at night. What's going on? Like, if you're with your friends and it's still like, maybe if you're all dressed in, it's like, this is strange, but it's like, you're out with your people, you're doing your thing, whatever. But it's like the alone business, and it's like, this is I love this. This girl, I maybe like or not, is a super freak. I'm into it.
No, he only likes her because he can tell that she's an endangered species.
Oh my goodness. I'm like not beating the allegations. So yes, the 4Kids episode was admittedly in media res, was not the actual first episode. This is what I get for not doing. I think Ultimate Muscle shook me up so much, and also not wanting to see it at all. And I think for the next one, I have to poke my head in to make sure the first episode we got is not a proof of concept for the English dub. It is actual first episode.
But also it wasn't terrible.
No, it's not. Honestly, again, I've talked about it before. It's that nostalgia I have of like when you tuned into a block, you're just like, well, I haven't been keeping up for this, or I don't know what episode's playing, and you have to figure out in the moment what's going on and what the situation is. But this thing's tropey as hell, so it's very easy to find your feet.
Right.
And I have a nostalgic spot for that, which I think is, that's me. So then, after learning that, and also kind of going, we should watch to see if the Japanese first episode is this, we went to see the Japanese first episode subbed, and its first episode is the actual first chapter, but just better in every imaginable way.
There's some changes.
There's a number of changes.
There's actually a couple big changes, but a lot of little ones. And I think most, if not all of them, were for the better.
I think all of them are for the. You had one thing you're held up on. So it's like everything gets time to breathe more. We learn more that she is the one that sets up the date. We start before the date is happening. When she's asking him, we meet him first with her. In that context, I think they already know each other.
Oh, I did want to point out in the English version, the 4Kids version, he sounds like a 30-year-old man.
I know you said he sounded like that, and I guess
he does not sound like a teenager.
He sounds like a little girl in the Japanese dub.
Right. In the Japanese, it went too far the other direction.
Fine.
But I prefer the Japanese voice.
I guess so, yeah. Because what you were talking about, that one actually seems like he likes her.
Yeah.
The English one, he comes off very much like it felt like it reading the manga, where he seems very oblivious.
Right.
So what? So like they go to the museum to see the things. They specifically point out in one of the pictures is the wildcat, which is like, that's good. You also get to little cutaways
continuity
of just setups and payoffs. You get continuity, or you get little setups of the two guys. You actually get to see in not just a weird shadowy room with the laser, that they're working on something, even though they say the same things essentially. And you get the sense that like they scan her when she comes in, and they're like, oh, this one, like it's very like chosen one-y, which is a big difference.
At one point, you see the computer screen, and it's got like the DNA or the genome,
the
GCA
or
whatever.
Yeah.
It like highlights parts of them, and you're like, oh, okay. They actually checked her DNA.
Maybe chapter 2 or 3 in the manga go like, oh, we chose you, but like having it here now that you are a chosen one for this ability gives more like the earthquake is still a little unclear, but it's clearer. Like they do enough setup to make it clearer. I like that instead of giving the accidental kiss when she trips because she's a clutch, he just catches her in his arms, and I think that's just an infinitely better thing, and is also easier to play off as like, oh, you were falling and I caught you, even though it is a very like romantic-y moment for her.
Oh, and then he goes off to buy the juice instead of her running off.
Yeah.
And so she's just, because they had already exited the museum. I think they were still nearby.
I think they're on
museum,
like the grounds of the museum or something.
But it's
I don't know.
a different location than the way.
But you see the cafe, but it makes sense when you get to the cafe that it's its own bespoke building that looks like a little European fantasy, little cake town place.
It's a maid cafe.
Yeah, it's a maid cafe. Though I loved in the English dub, I'm so curious if they change the background sound because there's this like clinking plates like they're in a diner and it's like uber crowded even though you see no one.
Much.
It's
so
good.
loud. And
Because because they're trying to give it because it's like what like go back 20 some years in America. It's like nobody knows what a maid cafe is, and if somebody knew about it, they'd be disgusted by it, which is somewhat rightfully so, I guess, as somebody who's been in a maid cafe before, both as a patron and as a worker. But, like, I think they're trying to sell it as these are teens working there. Like, the American dub is trying to make it very relatable to an American teen girl or preteen girl. Because it's like, oh, this is your part-time job you have with your other friends working at this cafe. This, it's very diner-coded because they all have their maid outfits then get very, like, oh, this is your little apron thing you're wearing. Like, it just reads more in that context, even if it's the same exact outfit. What are other changes in the original Japanese, the anime? Just we do not meet any of the other girls, which is the right choice. Do not meet them.
Right.
There's no
we
point.
don't meet the other girls.
Take time.
The whole thing with the ticket that she had that she fell off the railing.
And the ticket that she had kissed into his lips in a really weird, strange thing is now pictures they took at a photo booth.
Right.
Which I think is just infinitely better. But yeah, we get that little like roundup of like, oh, she's sleeping poorly, and she says "nyan," and she falls on her feet, and she's fine, and the whole like getting the fish, like all of those were like, okay, this is a thing that you gave this time to breathe, and now it works, and I like it.
We actually see the rat get like infected,
like the weird alien comes, alien.
It's like
ball.
A jellyfish thing.
And that was cool. The rat design in the anime is so cool.
Yeah,
it is so much weirder. It gets like weird tusks. It gets all weirdly elongated. Its arms have like weird rectangles like I've seen on like mechs.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is very organic. Like it was just like cool. Like I think in the same way that I haven't seen but like heard about like the monster designs in Sailor Moon, I'm just like somebody was kind of, even though this is like a low-level rat thing, like somebody's cooking on this. It wasn't just like here's a big rat. It's like, oh, this is not right. This thing is corrupted. Which was really neat. Yeah, and the Ryu shows up, and it's kind of semi-romantic, just like it was in the manga. And then she gets her power. I still don't know why it's called Strawberry Check or whatever.
Yeah,
I still don't know. I had that in my summer originally, and I hopped over it because I'm like, there's another word I'm missing. But that's what she calls it here, and it's still very unclear. But she does her big magical girl transformation. It's fine. It's great. The intro was fine. It's solid.
I thought the intro and the outro.
I liked the outro a lot because when the outro was playing, it's very much like it's that era. It's the late '90s, early 2000s era of chibi, which I miss now because like this was very nostalgic, and the music that's playing is very like there's like cute cats that are very much like, oh, these are karaoke machine kind of cats, like the designs. And the music is very like, oh, I've played this on, I want to play this on Dance Dance, back in an arcade when I'm growing up. And I just turn to Brad and shout, I'm a boomer! Because I'm just like awash in a nostalgia of like, I've never seen any of these, but it's just this flavor, this era is 20 sub years ago and not around anymore. So it's like, I kind of, you miss what's not around. It becomes the fresh thing. So, no, I had a great time with both of them, but in different ways.
Yeah.
I'd be curious again to see the first episode in the English version for 4Kids, the actual like thing that handled the first chapter's worth of stuff. I don't know how much of it is just a lack of nostalgia of having seen it. Like the 4Kids one's fine. I think it's just like it's interesting to see.
They probably didn't have to change a whole lot.
I'd be curious
because we even said the in the fights. It's like they didn't show any violence.
Combat, because we saw combat happen, but like they didn't show the hits really, and I'm like, oh, that seems like a 4Kids thing. They remove violence a lot. But then when the rat hits the boy in the Japanese one, it was also like you saw the wind up, but you never saw any impact. Right. You just saw the wind up, and then he's down, sound, and then he's down. So it might just be what it is. So, I don't think I liked the 4Kids one as much as I was banking on. I still think it was good. Like, I got cat puns. It's fun. It's what it is. Like, I just don't think it's my flavor.
The key there is that both of them, even
both of them are a vast improvement.
Better than
vast improvement. But I think maybe just I'm more impressed by the Japanese one. I mean, again, we didn't watch the English actual first episode because wiggly woggly timey wimey. But like, it did take all the pieces and it made it. It's like this is what the like. It's good. It's fine to good. In a like a good, like, I'm smiling way. Like, I had a really good time. Like, it just took all the pieces and put them together infinitely better.
Well, and especially if you consider that the Japanese anime had 52 episodes or whatever, it feels like they took a manga that was okay at best and were like, there's something here, let's make a good show out of it.
But this is now the second time in this arc, which is, I'm thinking, not specific to the things we've picked, but specific to the era. Ultimately, also the same thing where the first episode we watched, that was essentially the first chapter, was wildly different, but it got a lot of the beats. And I think it was in, I don't know how much, again, this is the weirdness of this situation. I don't know how much of the improvement was. It's like we're watching the 4Kids one, but like I did like the changes they made in a lot of the cases.
I would say, speaking of the Japanese one specifically, there were two major changes that were like significantly different, but I think one was better, one is questionable. The one we already talked about, all the girls don't show up immediately.
Yeah, smart move.
And we saw at the
end when they're telling you what happens in the next episode, you see one of them.
Right. And they're like, you're going to have to assemble the team.
But also you've seen the intro and the outro, you know there's a team.
Right. The other thing was the whole thing about her getting scanned and the DNA and everything, like her being specifically chosen instead of it being an accident, which I think is probably a better way to go about it.
I think
and
it's
makes
better.
more sense.
That's the power fantasy, is that I'm special and I get chosen for the power, and or it's put on me specifically. Again, one day we'll do Sailor Moon and we'll know how that works better, but I think that's a similar situation. It's like you are a teen and have been given this special responsibility that nobody else has.
Yeah. But the other
power fantasy in that.
The bad part of that is that she didn't have a choice in the matter.
That's not how those hero stories work.
I know.
They rise to the occasion. That's why they've been selected, because they will rise to the occasion even if it's unpleasant then. So
but the fact is,
the hero story.
in the 4Kids version, which is a later episode, we see that they are sort of annoyed by this and like having to have this responsibility and everything.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the very I guess it happens in all things of like when a teen, like that's the teen has powers, is how do I balance this and my regular life?
Although I did say in that, before we got to the Japanese one, when they were complaining about that, the guy was like, the fate of the world hangs in the balance.
Yeah.
And they're like, how are we supposed to go to school? And I'm like, there's not going to be any school if the world ends.
They're teenagers. They don't know. It's freaking, this is Kim Possible.
Yeah.
This is Totally Spies, probably. I don't know. There's stuff like this is Danny Phantom, where it's like I have to keep my superhero fighting weird powers secret, but I have my core group of friends that help me with things, but also I need to keep that secret from my actual classmates and the boy or girl or whatever that I have a crush on. Like, this is a trope that exists in all places on the planet. And both in the Japanese and the English version, you can see it there. It just was more familiar to me in the English wrapping because that's what I'm used to seeing it and feeling it. So, but it is universal.
But yeah, so I would say I think those major changes were good. I think they made the right choice. What was the prediction you made?
That they were going to make cat puns.
Okay.
And they did. And I said, yes, I give myself a bonus point, even though we weren't making predictions.
At one point, she's talking to the boy. This is after she fell off the railing.
Is this the English or the I guess this has to be the Japanese because that doesn't have the English one.
And he comes up and he's like, hey, is everything all right? You know, stuff's been going on. And she starts talking to him and uncontrollably makes like 40 cat like sounds and puns and stuff.
She keeps meowing and yanning, and
I thought that was funny.
It's honestly Japanese. I mean, both of them were, but the Japanese one were honestly. It was cute. Yeah. I felt like, oh, this is cute. Like, look at that, like a little design. I like that. And her reaction faces were really fun and cute. Again, a different era. Very
especially, I think if you were a preteen or teenage girl watching that when it was coming out,
or boy,
you would be all over it.
Yeah, it's cutesy. I don't think I will watch more, but in like a universe where I get like on a stranded island and this is what I can like, this is a choice of a thing that I have to watch, I would watch it very happily. Like, it was fun. I'd both honestly, both the Japanese and the English, I would watch both of them. And compare them to keep my mind sharp on a deserted island, and I'm assuming food's fine because whatever. But no, I had a really good time with both of them. Like, honestly, both of them are unless you have any major thoughts, then I wanted to get to Thinking Thinks and Feeling Feels.
I think it's hard to tell because they were different episodes, but I think the 4Kids version maybe played up that she's an idiot a bit more.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's just the feeling I got. But that could just be like different reads of
I
text.
would say that, and that she gets more reaction faces, and this is somebody speaking in a language that we can pick up a lot more nuance on that we don't in the original one. Honestly, both of them, my thinking and feeling is good to great, but more good. I think just by the cap of what it is, the ceiling of what it is. But like I had a really great time, and I think that's where it's to the great part. But just what it is simpler. I think if we were just going, if I'm grading it if I'm grading it by what the manga was to what the first episode of the anime was in Japanese, it is great as an adaptation because it fixes all these problems, and it's just so much more of like, this is what this first chapter is supposed to be story-wise and what you want to get across emotionally. These are the bones actually given proper flesh and muscle and sinew for what's going on, even if this is a cheaper 2000s, digitally animated thing.
I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I would say good to great. Objectively, I'm gonna say my feelings for the Japanese one is great.
Wow, yeah, no, I can feel that.
And not in the way that it's like, oh, I want more of this, but more like I am so happy with how far you took this.
This was really pleasant. I would take more of this in. This is what we're talking about when we're maybe not always junk food, but like this is the thing you say. Sometimes there's just media to take in.
Yeah.
That's what the anime is that we saw. That's a baseline of like, yeah, it's not changing the world over, there's not, but it's like, yeah, and it's like, I like that both versions. I mean, the dub gave us the future vision of it of like, they keep the sort of environmental messages floating around there somewhere in cooking and things, which like I appreciate that, but it's like this is a fun thing I would show to like a kid growing up if this is like something they'd like or not. This is what we're talking about when we go, this is basically, it's fine, go have them, go at it.
Right. And I wanted to clarify because I said specifically the Japanese version. I feel like the 4Kids version probably hasn't changed very much. If we had watched the second episode, which is actually the first chapter, I probably would say, oh yeah, this is great as well. Jumping into it sort of in the middle, there were some questions and stuff that were sort of left hanging that I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, it's just good to that. I just feel like I didn't get enough of it.
Yeah, you didn't get the right taste of it. So much like when we watched the first episode of Ultimate Muscle in Japanese, we will watch the second episode of the English dub, which is the first episode. I feel like that's what our end of arc roundup is going to be. A lot of just, we watched this thing and then we talked about it somewhere. So hopefully next episode, it's not confusing and I do the research properly.
Stay tuned.
This time was more straightforward and I bungled the ball. Last time Ultimate Muscle was a confusing situation between the manga and the anime, so...
Next time on the Foxbox.
On the Foxbox, we're gonna sing the 4th of July, the American anthem. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we're not buying things, but like on it, like again, it's like I would watch more of this. I would still just through to my own taste and nostalgia be more likely to watch Ultimate Muscle because I think it's just goofier and that's more what I want out of these English dubs. I don't know. This feels like a good taster. Appetizer as the shoujo arc looms in the future somewhere. For something I had no idea even existed.
Yes. Although I say that, but I feel like I've seen a picture of her in her costume
it seems
before.
Particular.
But it's so vague, I can't be sure.
I would agree with the statement.
But for something that I've never heard of, I was pleasantly surprised. Not with the manga. No. But I
was unpleasantly surprised by the manga.
With the anime. I was like, okay, yeah, all right.
I'm curious to see, because we're pulling a lot from the same era, if we will see that again. Mm-hmm. There's one in particular, not the next one, but I think 2 episodes from now, that I'm very curious what that first episode's going to be, comparatively, because I feel like that's the most Western one of the set. But yeah, Brad, I'm trying to think of a pun with hit me with them plugs. I got nothing. I know. I spent all my energy on that first one.
You know that thing that cats do where they just smack you?
Brad, clean out the cat box.
Jesus.
I know.
No, I'm going to smack you with these plugs.
No.
Instead of These paws.
Catch these
slugs.
paws. Our Patreons.
Ah,
Sponsor? Our Neon. I know, right? Like, it feels like there's something here, but also it's not working.
Well, we want to hear from you. So go on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com, where you can find a social links page, and you can talk to us on a whole bunch of different platforms. But the best place to talk to us is our Discord. Mm-hmm. So join us there for lots of fun conversations and information, more stuff about these episodes. If you ever had any questions about stuff we talked about, that's the place to jump on and talk to us about it. I will respond on other places like YouTube comments and stuff, but Discord, you can have an actual conversation.
Discord, I'll see it.
Also, on our social links page, you can find a link to our Patreon, where our supporters get perks like getting to vote on different things that we cover, getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast early, and bonus episodes. So make sure you check those out. And of course, we need to shout out our patrons. So first and foremost, at our royal tier, we have our Crown Prince, Slimy Okra. Also at our royal tier, we have our Archduke, Imaginary Numeral.
Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba.
At our noble tier is our Marquis, Sir Cake Dwarf.
Da 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 da. I finally remembered Gourmet Race. Da 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 da.
Shout out to Cake Dwarf, who moments ago sent a message in the Discord that says, "Do what you want. As long as I can listen to Shonen Jumping the Gun episodes, I don't care about the order."
Hell yeah.
We love you, Cake Dwarf. And last, and certainly not least, at our commoner tier, we have Last Man on Earth, Rena, and Laura Carroll. So thank you so much to all of our patrons.
Well, thank you for that, Brad. And thank you all of our patrons. Thank you all of our listeners. Make sure you listen to all the podcasts on our feed. And Brad, not you, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to listeners. Listeners, I hope you're feline fine after that positively persuasive episode, Nyan. We truly are the cat's meow. On today's episode, because that's the thing, it's like I need more cat puns, but I already have a bunch of cat puns, so it's like, on today's episode, put on your ears and tail. It's time for Mew Mew power. Nya. I need to be more bubblegum.
On today's episode, where's that tail attached? It's
no. I hate that's gonna go in the after beeps. I know I can't tell you to get rid of it. On today's episode, let's put on our eels and tails. Eels and ears and tail. On today's episode, let's put on our ears. I can't say the word ears. I want to keep say eels for some reason.
If we can't come up with anything else,
I know it's like not bad, but it's like I feel like there's something more, but I don't know what it is. Because like I said, because it's the big thing is all my cat puns and introducing us. Like that's where I spent all my points. You hear that, right? I'm going upstairs. This is scary. I'm hearing weird noises. There's like... I'm just losing my mind. I'm just hearing weird noises my house is making.
I heard that one. Okay. I didn't hear the first one.
It was similar, but not... Like, it was sound of house sounds.
Yeah.
But that one was extra funky. But it's like the water's not flowing, the heater's not on. Like it's not like it was right above my head. I don't know if just something wind was going on that made a weird noise I've never heard. Sometimes you just gotta drop a Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Mew Mew Alchemist. Kitty Cat Alchemist.
I saw David Hayter, a clip of him. He was on some kind of award show or something. And I have no idea what the context was because this was just like a meme clip.
Yeah.
And he goes, Metal Deer. I don't know what it was.
Go for it, buddy. That man helped write X-Men 2, I think. That might be a really fuzzy, twisted memory, but he did something to do with the X-Men movies on top of being, Snake.
Perfect.
I can't roll my R's.
Neither can I. That's not true. Sometimes I can, but I can't control it.
You can't control when it happens. Very fitting.